Well, the wonderful thing now is that the fans have come to recognize me as George Takei, and they've come to understand that I've lived an amazing American life. Because, as you say, we were incarcerated in prison camps during the Second World War. And that has been, for me, a life-shaping experience. At that time, I was too young to understand what was happening. I do remember the barbed wire fence, the sentry towers, the machine guns pointed at us. But, they were just part of the landscape for me. A child adjusts to whatever circumstance, as long as you have your parents with you. Camp life became routine, lining up 3 times a day to eat at a mess hall. But as a teenager, I couldn't reconcile what I was reading in the civics books and the history books with what I knew to be my childhood incarceration. And so I sat down with my father for long and sometimes quite heated conversations about our internment. And my father, I've distilled all that conversation to his statement that our democracy is a people's democracy. And it can be as great as the people can be, but it's also as fallible as people are. He took me to the Adlai Stevenson for President headquarters and introduced me to electoral politics, which I found to be a lot of fun at that time. But then I got to understand that this was an important part of my father's passion and understanding of our democracy. We have to be engaged to make democracy a truer, better democracy.
The phenomenon you have become on social media. People who don't watch Star Trek movies or look up old Star Trek episodes know about you because of Facebook and because of Twitter. And if people watching this haven't followed you on Twitter, do. It's great fun. It must be fun for you, but why did you get so involved?
I've considered it my mission in life to talk about social justice and equality. So many people don't know about the internment. And so we had a mission to raise the awareness of Americans about that event, and Canadians too, because it also happened to Japanese Canadians during the war. And so I thought the best way to do that is by social media. But you can't raise their awareness just by talking about the internment. And so I started out by talking, well, my base obviously was geeks and nerds, and so I started talking about science fiction and science in a funny, comedic, sometimes ironic way. And then the audience started to gather. And then I added something about LGBT equality, because that is a civil rights issue of our times. And suddenly my audience exploded. And it was big enough so that I could introduce the idea of the internment. And people started to get an understanding of that history for the first time with many people. And then we introduced the idea that we got a musical on it.
I guess it was Sulu who made this all possible. Are you grateful for that experience, or do you feel chained to this fictional character from half a century ago?
I've been enriched by Sulu, because Sulu has given me that platform on which to vocalize on a lot of other issues, whether it be social, political, environmental. And I've been able to get my identity as George Takei, an activist for social justice causes as well. And science fiction fans, you catch more flies with honey, and humor is the honey, and then you sock it to them with the vinegar of reality.